So you have the Germans, they were Nazis who killed Jews. So now they help the Jewish Nazis kill Arabs. They're also helping the Ukrainian Nazis kill the Russians who killed the original German Nazis. So explaining war and genocide to the Germans is like a who's on first sketch with no jokes. That's basically what it is. But they finally figured out after 80 years. Yes. Welcome to the Jimmy Dore Show, everybody. Keaton here with Kurt Metzger while Jimmy is on the road. Well, here's something. The Germans finally got genocide right, it seems. It took them about, 80 some odd years, but they seem to have finally gotten it right. It's a complicated project for them. Germany threatened steps against Israel as tone shifts over Gaza. So you have the Germans, they were Nazis who killed Jews. So now they help the Jewish Nazis kill Arabs. They're also helping the Ukrainian Nazis kill the Russians who killed the original German Nazis. So explaining war and genocide to the Germans is like a who's on first sketch with no jokes. That's basically what it is. But they finally figured out after 80 years. Yes. Yes. So congratulations to them.
They haven't given up on Ukraine yet, though. I never thought that they would give up on Israel before Ukraine. That threw me for a loop a little bit.
That is true. That is true. So they have not they're not all the way there yet, but this is a pretty big step here, I would say. Germany threatened steps against Israel as tone shifts over Gaza. Germany's foreign minister threatened unspecified measures against Israel on Tuesday and said Berlin would not export weapons used to break humanitarian law as he and Chancellor Friedrich Merz delivered their most severe rebuke yet over Gaza. Germany, along with the United States, had long remained in support of Israel's conduct since the October 7th, 2023 attacks by Hamas, even as Israel became increasingly isolated internationally. Its about turn comes as the European Union is reviewing its Israel policy, and Britain, France, and Canada also threatened concrete actions over Gaza. Speaking to broadcaster WDR, Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul warned Germany's historic support for Israel must not be instrumentalized as massive airstrikes and shortages of food and medicines had made the situation in Gaza, quote, unbearable. Earlier, Merz criticized airstrikes on Gaza as no longer justified by the need to fight Hamas and no longer comprehensible in comments at a press conference in Finland. So here are a couple of these sound bites.
Die israelische Armee jetzt im Gazastreifen macht. Ich verstehe offen gestanden nicht mehr mit welchem Ziel.
I no longer understand, frankly, what its objective is.
Die Zivilbevölkerung
to cause such
derart in
suffering to the civilian population,
wie das in den letzten Tagen
as has increasingly been the case in recent days,
lässt sich
can
nicht
no longer
mehr
be
mit einem
justified
Kampf
as a
gegen den
fight against
Terrorismus der
Hamas
Hamas
terrorism.
begründen.
You don't know, you can't put it together what the goal is there?
No, it's so maddening. It's so maddening. It really is. Here's the second piece of this.
Überschritten werden,
when lines are crossed where international humanitarian law is now really being violated, then Germany, the German Chancellor, must also say something about it. We Germans known for being sticklers about international humanitarian law. It's not like it was written because of us.
Not like they're rounding people up currently for tweets and bragging about it on 60 Minutes in a way like you think they were Russia.
Oh, yeah. No, it's extraordinary. We have some of that in this piece, actually. While not a complete rupture, the shift in tone is significant in a country whose leadership follows a policy of special responsibility for Israel, known as the Staatsräson, due to the legacy of the Nazi Holocaust. Whenever I got in trouble at daycare, I would always just scream, Staatsräson!
Statsreisen,
Statsreisen, and she would leave me alone because I was Jewish, so I would invoke the Statsreisen, whatever. Whenever I had to go to the bathroom and they wouldn't let me, I would say Statsreisen, and they'd say, "Okay, go ahead, you're good. I'm sorry, I apologize." See, nowadays I can get
Prussian word, ain't
it? Exactly. German Chancellor Olaf Schultz. So this was before. So Germany has a new chancellor now, but Friedrich Merz. But of course, just after October 7th, Olaf Schultz was the German chancellor. So here he is, November 14th, 2023, refuting allegations that Israel's committing war crimes in Gaza as absurd. So this kind of gives you how far the Germans have come in these 19 months.
Eine Demokratie. Auch das muss sehr klar gesagt werden. Und auch darüber gibt es keinen Zweifel. Und das werden wir auch in jedem Gespräch und bei jeder Gelegenheit betonen.
We will emphasize in every conversation and at every opportunity that this is our view.
Ein Land im Übrigen,
Israel is a country
das sich
that
den
is committed
Menschenrechten,
to
das sich
human
dem
rights and
Völkerrecht
international
verpflichtet
law
fühlt und in seinen Aktionen auch
and acts
dementsprechend
accordingly.
handelt. Und
And that is
deshalb
why the
sind die
accusations
Vorwürfe,
being
die gegen
made
Israel da erhoben
against
werden,
Israel are
absurd.
absurd,
Und
Okay.
daran kann es
and
gar
there
keinen
can be
Zweifel
no
geben.
doubt about this.
None.
None. None. Well, now they're having some doubts finally. Some doubts finally. This is the same Germany where scenes like this are routine. So, yes, what you see there in that screen is a child. Yes, a child, a little boy carrying a Palestinian flag. Watch how the German police react to him.
Okay.
Really atoning for their Nazi past. Running down a child in the street, waving a flag.
4 adults with those flags.
Really living down their reputation there. The same Germany where police intimidated organizers into switching venues in an effort to shut down entirely, which thankfully they were unsuccessful at in this instance. A speaking event with the UN Special Rapporteur on Human Rights, Francesca Albanese. They were organizing a pro-Palestine event in Germany, and it almost got canceled. It had to move to a different venue because the government threatened the first venue. And the second of those trips, the second of those events, was successfully canceled. Germany's second talk by top UN official canceled. A major Berlin university canceled a public lecture by Francesca Albanese, UN Special Rapporteur on the occupied Palestinian territories, following pressure from the Berlin mayor. Many academics are outraged. Of course, this is the same Germany where now anti-Semites cannot be granted German citizenship under new law that's dated October 25th, 2023.
Why did
Germany? Sorry, go ahead.
Didn't they do mass immigration for many, 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 many years of people that you could say have enough of a grudge against Israel to be considered by their government anti-Semitic?
That is true. They did let quite a few anti-Semites in. That is a good point. I never thought of it that way, but yes, they did. When you frame it that way, yeah, I guess you have a point.
Was mass Syrian? Remember all the Syrians that got displaced?
Oh, yeah. Well, Angela Merkel, she was like she and a few others, but really she, more than any other German leader, was like the poster child for the liberal immigration policy. Yeah, absolutely.
They didn't think that Israel might come up when they do that.
That's true. You know, they should have thought about that. I'm surprised they didn't think about that.
Well,
I guess that's an example where it kind of slipped through. But November of last year, Germany passes controversial anti-Semitism resolution. The German lower house of parliament has passed a highly controversial resolution to combat anti-Semitism, despite opposition from legal experts, civil society groups, and prominent Jewish intellectuals. First proposed in the wake of Hamas's terror attacks on October 7th, and in response to the subsequent rise in incidents reported as anti-Semitic in Germany, the controversy over the resolution largely has centered on the intent to make public grants for culture and science projects dependent on adherence to the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance working definition of anti-Semitism, which explicitly prohibits criticizing the state of Israel and conflates criticism of Zionism with anti-Semitism. So yes, it
starts out normal
offenders. Yeah,
I read it. It starts out like, okay, well, I'll see. Like, oh, if you say Zionism isn't Judaism, you make a separation that is anti-Semitic.
Well, the thing that's so strange about that is that part of the International Holocaust Remembrance Association, whatever the hell it is, part of their list of, items that are considered anti-Semitic is holding Jews responsible for the actions of the state of Israel, which is so weird because that contradicts all the other things, because every other item is basically saying to criticize Israel is to criticize Jews.
Right.
So if to criticize Israel is to criticize Jews, then aren't you saying Jews and Israel are linked inextricably? Well, therefore, would it not stand to reason that Jews are responsible for the conduct of Israel? Because you're saying you can't criticize one without the other. So it doesn't even make sense on its own terms. But I suppose it doesn't have to. So for a somber take on this, let's go to Rabbi Shmuley. Shut the hell up in Germany. Never dare lecture Jews about genocide, you scoundrel.
And buy my daughter's dildo.
My daughter's dildo, 20% off now through Purim. Yes.
They're kosher because we put them in jars.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So this just goes to show you, like, if you're, Russell said this on our show the other day. If you're gonna like tepidly criticize Israel, you may as well go all the way, because these people do not tolerate any dissent. We just showed you police chasing down a child, a young boy, for carrying a Palestinian flag. We just showed you laws passed in Germany since October 7th over the past 19 months. And they already had some of the strictest anti-Semitism laws on the books of any European country. But you go as far as to say, okay, enough is enough. With withholding aid for 11 months straight, that's over the line. We can't stand by this anymore. And this is the reaction you get. So you may as well just go all out, because they won't take 99%. You have to give them 100% or nothing. The minute you stray at all, you get this kind of treatment from
Kamala Harris got it.
Here.
The Democrats got it, didn't they? Trump is like, I'm going to build a casino in Gaza. And that, you have to go that way or you're out.
Exactly. So I think the fact that Germany is talking like this is an indication that the tide has turned. The fact that Piers Morgan recently, came out and essentially bent the knee on the question of genocide. The fact that Bono spoke out, right? I mean, none of these people will do anything. Yeah, even Bono. Is
Springsteen next?
Yeah, we'll see if Springsteen is next somehow. Yeah. I don't know if Springsteen is next, although he's Steen, so he may be next. If he were Stein, that I would probably bet against that. But no, he might be next. Maybe he'll be next.
Is a major, like how when I knew Me Too is over, not when it should have been, when Biden, they didn't go after Biden, which they should have.
For Tara Reid,
yeah, literally grabbing her by the you-know-what. He actually did that, but whatever. It didn't end until Amber Heard. That's when it ended, because that's when the people that don't follow politics but do follow Pirates of the Caribbean, when they saw it was on. So Piers Morgan is a major indicator for that rat to jump ship. Your ship is really leaking, because that guy would have not. He was enjoying his position on it.
Exactly. And that's why, because whenever you cover stuff like this, you always get a lot of feedback from people who are saying, they're phonies, they're fake, you shouldn't take them seriously. And I say, yes, you're right. It's not about them. They are a barometer. They are a measurement of where the society is. Bono will not stray too far from the mainstream. So if Bono is anti-Israel or criticizing the Israeli government, he didn't go as far as to criticize the state or the ethos of the project. But the fact that he is criticizing the war and basically, calling for an end to the war, that is an indication that is now the mainstream sentiment. So it's valuable in that. And I think this German about face is indication of that as well.
Yeah, well, dude, first of all, for 20 years, I didn't know anything about it. I remember this blockade of Gaza and I thought that sounds kind of harsh, and I didn't think about it.
Right.
So I didn't pay attention at this whole time, and I thought the situation was very complicated. And also not worth it for me to get into on a career level. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm in entertainment. How would that help me? And Jimmy and when Pasta was here, back when it.
That Norm interview,
And they were throwing out words like genocide and stuff that I am not comfortable calling it at all. But guess what? Them Nuremberg laws, the laws after Nuremberg say it is, not me.
Right.
The fact that I know how bad it is means Israel screwed up. Because I'm naturally prejudiced against Muslims, because I'm a good person, obviously. I would never listen to an Arab. Jews told me. So I can't stress that enough. Like, if I ever talk to Jordan Peterson, whoever, here's where I'm coming from. I didn't want to know the truth, but now I had to know it because they screwed up that bad.
Jordan Peterson would be so proud of how clean your apartment is.
Oh, he would
love that.
Yeah. It's a big, beautiful, terrific apartment.
You grew up and made your bed. Yes. The couch looks terrific. I can tell you're a real man now. You're on your way.
All right, be honest. Have you noticed yourself moving slower, avoiding stairs, feeling stiff in the morning? If you know what I mean. If so, pay attention. The truth is, mobility doesn't just vanish overnight. It's slow decline. It's a slow decline. And before you know it, you're the guy making weird noises every time you get off the couch. But by the time you pay those grunts enough attention, it can feel too late. But it doesn't have to be. That's where Juvent comes in. This isn't some gimmick or magic pill. It's a clinically proven device that uses safe, low-impact micro vibrations to strengthen your bones. improve your circulation, and keep your joints working the way they're supposed to. Notice I said micro vibrations. This isn't like those other shake plates on the market, which, by the way, can be extremely dangerous. I stand by my Juvent, and I stand on my Juvent for at least 20 minutes a day. I use it. I was using it before they were an advertiser on the show. It was recommended to me by Pierre Corey because it creates stem cells. It helps your joints, your bones. You know, I have a bone problem, and it's made a noticeable difference in how I feel. It's like giving your body a tune-up before it completely breaks down. Athletes, doctors, even NASA use this thing, and it's good enough. If it's good enough for astronauts, it's good enough for me, especially lady astronauts. With a 10-year limited warranty, financing options, and the ability to use FSA funds, it's never been easier. So don't wait until your knees sound like a bowl of Rice Krispies. Get a Juvent today. Go to juvent.com/Dore and start moving like you're supposed to. That's JUVENT.com/DORE. Use the code DORE for $300 off at checkout. Your joints will thank you. Trust me. Come see us live in Los Angeles, Buffalo, Toledo, Montreal, Ottawa, Glasgow, Manchester, Belfast, Dublin, London, Liverpool, Birmingham. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.